Alright folks, this is a little different. Strange waters, but what better time to do it when I'm overflowing with passion for a game moulded for kids, but adopted by degenerates.
Yeah. Oh god, this is not what I was hoping for.
Don't worry, those of you on Patreon, you won't be paying for this video, and I'm sorry if I sound a little different, it's because I'm dying of a cold. Anyways, let's do this. If you've been following me on Twitter, first of all, sorry for all the not safe for work on your timeline, and secondly, you'd have noticed the only time I get heated is when I talk about either Final Fantasy or Pokemon. The latter being a franchise I've adored since I first played Pokemon Yellow and just never grew out of it. I even collect the fucking cards at the tender age of 25 because seeing a tiny flicker of foil at the back of a freshly opened pack works better than a full year of therapy. What I'm trying to get at is I adore Pokemon as a franchise, and my anger towards the modern games is absolutely riddled with hyperbole. But I noticed a few years ago that there's something about them that's been itching away at the back of my head, like a large black spider of uncertainty. However, watching the latest trailer for Pokemon Sword and Shield finally shed some light on what form this amorphous mental arachnid was. It was the jump to 3D, and Game Freak's seeming unwillingness to evolve at a healthy speed. I want to drag your attention to the earlier Pokemon games, taking away all nostalgia you held for them and just to look at them subjectively. Each game from Red all the way to Black and White 2 followed the usual Pokemon formula. As the titles progressed, they added things to the core of the gameplay such as EVs, IVs, and Natures to make the games denser for those out there that really wanted to work towards being a Pokemon master. But the one thing that barely changed was catching. You throw a Pokeball, wiggle wiggle wiggle, hey presto, you caught a fucking rat. So what was it that kept me invested every single time? I usually wasn't overly bothered with battling trainers, but catching Pokemon and nicknaming them after every single Final Fantasy character, because that's the kind of friendless child I was at the time, was an absolute joy. It was the fact that in every title, Pokemon looked different. Even my favourite Pokemon, Starmie, which has a very simplistic, expressionless design, has a different pose or animation in each title. Wondering how a Gyarados would change from Generation 1 to Gen 2 was exciting, and so encountering a well-known Pokemon still gave us something new and interesting. Then along came X and Y, a title that I personally loved. I honestly couldn't get enough of it when it came out, even with its lack of real endgame content. The reason for that was its explosive change from a 2D grid-based title with 2D sprites to a 3D world with actual 3D modeled Pokemon, with skeletons that were animated and could move, and it was something I wanted since I was a child, so I felt like it was a dream come true. Then Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire came out. Then Sun and Moon. And thinking back, this was when that spider was born in the back of my head, because I came to subconsciously realise that despite being different, everything felt the same. Now before I have people getting angry at me for putting Game Freak on blast like this, how they're just a small company and how difficult it must be to change over 800 3D Pokemon models with every new release. Trust me, I know this, I acknowledge it, I'm not unaware. But even when I was sat there live streaming the Pokemon Direct and watching the new Sword and Shield trailer, how nice the environments look compared to the 3DS's textures, how happy I was seeing 3 fantastic new starters who I'd personally take with me to get a fucking Greg sausage roll, you cheeky cunt. When they showed off older Pokemon, my heart sunk. Because even though this is the title for the Nintendo Switch, they are still using 3DS models. In fact, in the trailer at least, subject to change I'm sure, they're still using 3DS sound effects. It makes me question if changing to 3D was a good idea or not. Because as I said, I acknowledge that creating 800 new Pokemon models must be an absolute chore. But not even changing their idle poses or facial expressions and just having them look exactly the same as they did back on the 3DS? It's just a little deflating remembering how excited I was when I first saw the animated sprites back in Black and White 2, and how expressive they all were and how alive they felt, with vibrant colours and fun designs. And then you go over to the 3D models and it's like, come on, put a little enthusiasm into it. Stop standing in your idle animation pose and give us a little dance or something. What did they do to you? My point is that no matter the change of location, if we're going to be stuck catching the same 6-year-old assets again and again and again, eventually even the biggest Pokemon fan out there is going to get burnt out. If there was ever a time to create brand new models after 6 years, then this was the perfect time to do so. A mainline Pokemon game on the Nintendo Switch that wasn't Pokemon Let's Go, which ironically felt quite fresh due to its change in mechanics, disregarding its simplicity. I love Pokemon. I'll be waiting on the Sword and Shield trailers with held breath. But having that gnawing fear that Game Freak will get too comfortable with their older assets and will never ever change these models again, quite frankly, it makes me a little worried. I mean, honestly, even outsourcing Pokemon models to other individuals or companies could make things easier for them. Hell, it's been proven time and time again that fans know how to get shit done. I mean, not all of the time. Hopefully as time goes on, I'll be proven wrong. Something I'm always open to being. Hopefully they'll make it so the models haven't been put through a 3-hour wash cycle and had all of the colour drained out of them. Seriously, what did they do to you? Hopefully the reused sound effects in the trailers are simply placeholders and they at least took the effort to create new sounds for a mainline title on the Nintendo fucking Switch. I guess in the end, all we can do is wait and see. But I hope I made my point well enough that even if you don't agree, you can at least understand where I'm coming from. People are still going to buy this regardless, myself as well. And I hope this video doesn't lessen your love of Pokemon. This does not come out of a place of hate, but out of a burning need, a want to see this company do even better. Because I feel like having someone cheer you on and try to see them reach even greater heights is better than patting them on the back and telling them that it's okay to wallow in mediocrity. Thank you for joining me. My Birth by Sleep Part 2 video is well underway, so there won't be too much longer to wait. Also, consider pledging to me on Patreon, the link is found down below. Bye bye bye.